I'll go right here. Hello, how y'all? Y'all good? Listen, I want my Black Effect team to come here. Come here, Sim, and where's Chanel at, and JP, like everybody who, you know, makes this thing really go. Dolly's not here today. Where A King at? A King, where you at? Dwayne? Come on. JP, absolutely. Damn, that's it? Well, these are a few of the people who make the Black Effect actually go. I know they always say Charlemagne, you know, they say Dolly definitely makes it go. Let's not get it twisted. But these are the people who every day are boots on the ground, making sure that we have this amazing podcast network. They're the reason that we're here celebrating 5 years. So make some noise for them, okay? Thank you to our amazing partners that we've partnered with. I see Jay Barnett in here. I see Tamika here, my son. I see Giselle and Robin. Who else is here? Good Moms, Bad Choices. Carlos King, Ebony. See, this one I don't like starting to shout out. B-Dot, you know what I mean? These are the people that actually make this thing go, man. Who? Whoa, Will Lucas, Black Tech, yes, Black Tech Green Money, thank you for being here. We just want to say thank you, man. You know, the Black Effect is going to continue to elevate Black voices, man. 5 years ago, when I thought about what I wanted, you know, Black Effect to be, it has exceeded all expectations, and I really, really cannot do it without the people, you know, standing up here right now, and some of the people who aren't standing up here right now. So thank y'all very, very much. And I gotta make sure that I salute AT&T, State Farm, Nissan, Molson Coors, Amazon, American Express, DraftKings, Coca-Cola. The reason I'm saluting them is because those are the ones that spend the money. And if we don't have the money, we can't do none of this, okay? Thank y'all for joining us. And I wanna bring to the stage a podcast that we just launched. Not just a podcast that we just launched, a young lady that we just introduced to the Breakfast Club. She goes by the name of Lauren LaRosa. Amazing talent from a very, very small place called Delaware.
No, because you was about to start. You was about to start.
But listen, this is what I'm talking about when I talk about, you know, what we do with the Black Effect, what we do with the Breakfast Club, you know, getting amazing talent like Lauren LaRosa and just being able to amplify her voice and watching her, you know, have the moment that she's having, and not just gonna have the moment, the career that she's gonna have. We're gonna be right here 5 years from now looking at Lauren LaRosa like, damn, everything done glowed up. The hair, the clothes, the career. I'm just saying, it's the truth.
You had to start with the hair.
But it's just the truth, okay? So
keep going.
Appreciate people's journey. When you think about where the Black Effect was 5 years ago, look at where we are now. When you think about where I was 15 years ago, look at where I am now. Think about people like Lauren LaRosa. Just look at the journey. That's what it's all about, man. You know, being able to put people in position to win, so. Take it away, Lauren LaRosa.
All right, y'all. Y'all ready to get started? I'm Lauren LaRosa, and I'm your host this evening. I'm so happy to be a part of this family. I mean, you guys are getting to watch me in real time, figure this out, build, but really get to understand platform, which is the Black Effect. So tonight we'll be celebrating with you all, and we're going to be having some powerful conversations about impact, growth, and community. So I'm going to be, you know, having some of our podcasters join me up here to talk about their journey and their platform here with the Black Effect. So first up, we have a podcast that's breaking silence and setting stories free. This show highlights women who've been through it all and still made it out shining. Show some love for Pretty Private with Ebony. She told me not to say her last name, y'all, so don't get me. Hello.
Thank you.
Of course. Go right there.
Hi, family.
Hey.
Hey, girl.
She was like, wait, so we gonna be doing an interview? I was like, yeah. She said, okay, great. It could be like girl talk.
Right.
Yes. All right, so first question for you is, what do you wish you knew about building a podcast brand before you started yours?
Well, first of all, I wish I would have known that I would have been working like a $2 hoe, because
Girl.
podcasting is...
It'd be 50 cent hoes sometimes.
Girl,
It's
listen,
a job.
Podcasting has been one of the hardest jobs I have ever done in my entire life. Like, especially when it comes to crafting a well-crafted show. Like, it is a lot of work. And I feel like being a part of this network, you know, I still feel like the underdog because I'm a part of a network that has a lot of talent. I mean, I would have never thought that I'd be on a show with Michelle Williams, who's a part of one of the greatest girl groups of all time.
Right.
And so it really pushes me to, like, show up and show out. But I wish I would have known ahead of time all the work that goes into it. And granted, I do have the support from my network, but you know, it's still when it comes to looking for guests and editing and like just making sure that it really captures the tone of what my show is about, it's a lot of work.
It is.
Like,
but
baby
you're
girl be
doing it,
tired.
You be tired, but you're doing it.
Absolutely.
And it's here and it's strong and you have your audience and people are listening. Now, one of the things that is very unique about your podcast is the anonymous factor. Mm-hmm. Do you think that the element of people being able to be anonymous on your show helps our community to realize that we are all more alike than we are different?
Absolutely. I feel like when it comes to our community or just society in general, everybody can be very judgmental. So I feel like when you have these conversations from people from many different walks of life, whether it's talking about, you know, sex workers, survivors, professional work, things of that nature, I feel like the fact that this show has anonymous guests it encourages people to empathize with people. So I feel like a lot of times if you knew who the person was, you would be more quick to judge them. But since you don't know who they are, and once you listen to the entire story, it's like, okay, you know what? I kind of do want to know who this person is, because if they can get through it, so can I. So I think the anonymous factor really plays a role in people seeing themselves in these stories.
I love that. Now, how do you think your show has contributed to Black women and, you know, us being able to embrace vulnerability and breaking down the stigma of always being strong?
Child, I feel like as a Black woman, like, I am tired.
Even when you started this sentence, it was like, child, like I felt it.
Yeah, because I feel like as a Black woman, where we show up in so many different ways, we have so many titles, and I just feel like it's a lot to just be a mom, a wife, a friend, a doctor, all these different titles. Like, sometimes you just want to be. And I feel like when you listen to this platform, it allows you to see yourself, to hear yourself, and to just sit in that moment of just being.
Well, we thank you for your work that you were doing, fighting a good fight, and we're able to just be because of that.
Thank you,
so we appreciate you.
Of course, thank you.
Yes, give it up one more time, y'all, for Pretty Private with Ebony. Now, up next, through his work in his podcast, Just Heal with Dr. J has helped so many people take those first steps toward understanding themselves and finding peace. Today, he's here to share what being a part of the Black Effect Network means to him and how this platform continues to open doors for powerful conversations, transformation, and community. Please join me in welcoming Dr. J. How are you, Dr. J?
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
How's everybody doing? Good, good.
I was gonna say, I feel like I gotta ask you how you're doing, but you didn't already start it with the how you doing, because that's what you do. You check in on people.
Yeah, I'm good.
So let's get into it, right? What is the importance of our community being able to see content like yours being amplified on a platform like the Black Effect?
Well, I think it's imperative because as Charlemagne started talking about his mental health journey, and what the platform has allowed me to do is to continue to expand not only the conversation, but also to expand how we see mental health. Being a doctor in healthcare and being a licensed marriage and family therapist, it's really allowed me to expand what it looks like, even for Black men, to have these conversations, and then too to have these conversations with people that we connect with, whether sitting down with Taraji and her talking about her healing journey. Recently, Kirk Franklin, Rico Love, and so having all these different voices has been critical because I think mental health did not consider Black people.
Right.
And so to be able to create a space for people to come and not only just hear, but to see healing take place in these conversations is critical.
Now, what inspired you, outside of all of that you just named, right, and the ability to do that, what else inspired you to launch your podcast, and how has it evolved since your very first episode?
Oh man, it's really grown. It started with Charlemagne supporting my tour. I had a tour titled Just Heal Bro from the book that I wrote. We were on tour for 3 years, 33 cities, and we reached 18,000 Black men. And Charlemagne was like, yo man, I think you should do something with this.
You say that so lightly. You reached how many?
18,000.
18,000, y'all. Yeah, clap it up for that.
Yeah, so my story, like I was a former NFL player 20 years ago, two-time suicide survivor. And when I started talking about surviving suicide, Black men was not having these conversations, and it just really took off. And I wrote this book, Just Heal Bro, because my journey started with journaling. And I'm the only son, and I've been the only boy in my family, so I didn't have a voice. And I found my voice through journaling and turned it into a book, and now it's a movement.
Wow. Well, how has your podcast contributed to your own healing and the work that you've been doing?
Man, it's so dope because every episode grows me and it expands me. And one of the questions that I always ask the guests is, what does healing means for them? And just to hear people like just take a beat and like, yo, doc, man, healing means taking my time. Healing means, just really unpacking my trauma. It's just been a beautiful journey. And every episode, I feel like I'm sitting on the couch as they're sitting on the couch. So
Right.
it's been very beautiful.
Well, we appreciate you for all the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
Continue to do it. Guys, give it up for Dr. J.
Yes, thank you.
Make sure you check out Just Heal with Dr. J. All right, y'all. Now, joining me next, the Black Effect has always been about elevating voices that inspire change. And this next show does that every single week. Black Tech Green Money is where culture meets, y'all can clap. It's where culture meets entrepreneurship and innovation. Through his partnership with the Black Effect, he's shown us the future of tech, business, and the culture and how it is ours. Give it up for the host of Black Tech Green Money, Mr. Will Lucas. How are you? All righty. How you feeling?
I feel great.
You feel great?
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yes.
Hey.
Okay, so first question. Do you feel that you're sharpening your skills and your knowledge simply by having a space to teach and speak with like-minded people on a constant basis?
1,000,000% yes. I come to every episode from the perspective of a listener. And so the best way to learn is to teach. And I'm not coming as the teacher, I'm coming as the student trying to figure out how do I glean something out of these interviews that will help the audience. So sometimes we come to these interviews arrogantly, like how can I show how much I know, or how much can I, distill this information. But if I come to an interview really trying to put myself in the seat of the audience will get something out of that.
Well, I mean, yes, the audience will get something out of it, but in them getting something out of it, I think a lot of it for what you do, I think about purpose. How meaningful is it for an audience to be able to just, press play and get the information that you're giving them?
Yeah, well, my life's purpose is to create content and opportunities that helps Black people realize entrepreneurial success beyond their wildest dreams. And so everything I do is designed to help you and you and you realize success beyond your wildest dreams, because so many of us put limits on ourselves unintentionally because of the environment we grew up in, because we didn't see somebody else in a position as big, and we just don't even know how far we can go.
Yes.
And so what I wanted to do was show us ourselves, people who were realizing success in incredible ways, because so many of the platforms before Afrotech and before Black Tech Green Money were not showcasing Black technologists who were really getting the bag and really making money. So that's how I got into podcasts in the first place.
I love that. How much of your reach has extended since creating your podcast?
I love this. So I was with Charlamagne earlier today at Black Week, and he said something that I found to be true. It's like being a part of Black Effect and iHeart, there are inserts of like me talking about my show in other people's podcasts on the radio around the country. And so I had like friends who were like driving through Tuscaloosa and we're just listening to the radio, and it's like, hey, Will Lucas, Black Tech Green Money, da 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 da, and they're like, yeah, I just heard you on the radio, like in wherever, So that's super important, because this show is trying to prepare us for the future. Like, my goal is to reach the least of these. Like, there are so many people who are not prepared for AI, not prepared for technology, and are gonna get run over. And so my job is to save every single one I can by telling these stories.
Well, you were doing it. One accidental listen in Tuscaloosa or wherever they be at a time. We appreciate it, and congratulations. Up next, we have two women who know how to keep it real. And Shady. Reasonably Shady shares fearless stories from their lives about love, business, motherhood, and everything fabulous and in between. Partnered with The Black Effect, they're bringing bold conversations and energy to you every single week. Clear the way for Giselle Bryant and Miss Robin Dixon as they come on down, the lovely ladies of Reasonably Shady. Y'all on my timeline like every week, viral for something. Yes, Lord, that podcasting got y'all in some things, don't it?
Trouble.
It's a good journey though, watching you guys as a new podcaster and seeing how you blend into pop culture. I think I watch and I'll be like, okay, that's amazing. So how did launching the podcast help to prepare your other brands and businesses outside of the show?
So, we already had a platform on The Real Housewives, and so we were kind of lucky to have the synergy of the two platforms. And I'll say we were lucky. A lot of people come on, they start a podcast, they don't really have an audience yet, they have to build their audience. So we were lucky to kind of have an audience come with us, although we had never podcasted before. So thank you to Dolly and Charlamagne and everyone who believed in us and invested in us and allowed us to be on The Black Effect when we had zero experience podcasting. So just having that confidence in the network, I think told the world, like, nah, these girls are legit. Because I think sometimes people look at housewives or people on reality TV and they don't take them seriously. And so I believe being on Black Effect gives us legitimacy in the mainstream world.
And I try to use it in reverse. So on The Real Housewives of Potomac, I try to talk about Reasonably Shady all the time. I'll be in a conversation about something else, and I'll be like, Reasonably Shady, and blah, 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 and Reasonably Shady. So I try to get it in as much as possible.
You guys do a really good job of marrying the two, though. Even when you look you up, if there's articles or stories, normally they're citing your moments from Reasonably Shady, like you're reacting to things from the show on your podcast, which is very smart of you ladies. There's a business and a strategy to it. Before creating the Reasonably Shady podcast and partnering with The Black Effect, did you guys ever view podcasting as a business?
So Rob and I tell this story because it's crazy. I had never listened to a podcast. I had never heard a podcast before. And then we decided we wanted to do a podcast. So that's crazy. But thank God that, Dolly answered the phone. And, because we're very clear that she had to convince Charlamagne. And he said, yeah, okay, this is going to be good. And we, on Monday, will drop our 200th episode of Reasonably Shady.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Like, over the summer, we hit 10 million downloads. We were like, wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so... obviously we're doing something right, thank God.
Yeah, I didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. And I think slowly as we were in the podcasting business, then I realized like, oh, wait, like this is really a thing. Like this is serious business. And so shout out to everyone who's been podcasting and is doing their thing. And I do want to point out, we are probably one of the few housewife podcasts who have started and have not stopped in a short period of time.
We still here.
And I thank Black Effect for that because I think their support for us and for our podcast has helped us sustain.
I love that, especially with everything that you ladies have going on. That's amazing to even think about being able to balance everything that you do because of the support of Black Effect. How pivotal is it for you to have a platform where you have the freedom to be unedited, unfiltered versions of yourself, especially while battling with the misconceptions and the skewed narratives of you that come from Real Housewives?
It means everything. It means everything. Reality television is edited. And there's always something that we talk about, and we kind of follow that story, whatever it is. And our viewers really didn't get a chance to see who we are as a full person. Like, I have thoughts and views about so many things. When we first started, Bravo was very loud. They were very loud about telling us that we could not talk about Potomac on Reasonably Shady. And we said, thank you, because we don't want to. Because we have other things to discuss, like the rest of the world. And it makes us be a more well-rounded person to anyone that is listening.
Right. And it makes me so happy when we receive feedback from our listeners who say, you all have changed my opinion of you. I appreciate getting to hear you. We have some people who hate listen. They listen. They wanted to listen because they thought we were going to be horrible, and then they end up staying because they actually really enjoy us. And so I love when people write to us or message us and say, I really appreciate getting to know you all on the podcast. Yeah.
Converting a hater is a real thing.
Don't
it feel so good? Well, speaking of, people that are listening and the fans, how has podcasting changed the way you connected with your fans compared to reality TV? Because this is a different world.
It's a totally different world, and we get to write the script, so to speak. We get to talk about what we want to talk about. We tell our viewers, we put questions out there. They write us back. We talk about those things. So it's a safe zone for us that we can't necessarily get from a reality television show with 7 other women.
And we know that the people who are listening and writing in, they're here for us. And they support us, and they love us, and they want to talk to us. And they, we might piss them off with something we say, but they come to us with love. And it's kind of been fun because we have a number of listeners, and we know who they are when they're writing in. Like, we know their backs are, oh, here she goes again. It's like everyone's names, and that's so. We can't get that with just regular Housewives fans, but especially in this day and age when social media surrounding Housewives is just so toxic. It's so nice to have people who actually love and care for you, and we make connections with them. We shout them out. We make sure that we're reading their emails and saying their names on our podcast.
Well, ladies, congratulations. You said 10 million?
Woo, and counting.
Love it, y'all. Give it up for Reasonably Shady.
Thank you. Thank you.
Speaking of the reality TV space, if you love drama, laughs, and reality TV, this next show is for you. Reality with the King brings stories from the stars, sets, and everything in between. He recently partnered with The Black Effect, and he's giving us all the insider details you didn't see on camera. Give it up for Mr. Carlos King. He just celebrated his birthday the other day, too, y'all. Say happy birthday to Carlos on Instagram, living it up.
That's where this tan comes in. Get my Morris chestnut on.
Yeah, you ain't no shirt on. Y'all should have seen him.
Why are you telling my business?
That's what I do. All right, so first question. Have you noticed any shifts in how the networks or producers view your commentary since you started your podcast?
Yes. The biggest thing is the fact that the podcast Reality with the King has opened up the doors for reality stars to be seen and heard. And that's the reason why 100% of the guests that I have on my podcast, they all have sent me thank you letters, because my podcast and my ability as a journalist, hey Portia, as a journalist, I'm able to make sure that my guests are seen as the human beings they are, because on reality television, they only have 42 minutes of shared screen time to tell their story. So my platform allows them to be welcomed by somebody who understands the business, ask the right questions, the tough questions, but my method is I don't write down any questions. I pray before every interview, and I allow myself to listen, and I allow my guests to feel the energy. So I literally just ask questions that I feel that God is speaking to me through the conversation.
Love that. And I mean, you and God work very well together, because your questions, baby, you get into the things, okay? Now, how has Reality with the King helped redefine your role, not just as a producer, but as a voice in reality TV?
Yeah, so it's funny. I flew back here from Cabo today. Hey, Charlamagne, I want reimbursement for the travel.
He over here to the right.
I want to make sure I didn't miss this celebration. So the flight attendant, I'm literally getting off the plane today, and she stopped me. Her name is Glory, Delta Airlines flight attendant, if you're listening. She said, thank you for what you're doing to the culture. And I get that a lot from strangers. And what that means is you have a Black person who is honestly the face of Black production when it comes to reality television, and the audience feels like they get to see somebody who represents them, and they get to see somebody who is giving the celebrities that I have on my podcast an opportunity to really be seen as humans. Today, I launched an interview I did with Beyonce's father, Matthew Knowles, and the feedback has been great, because I think a lot of people don't realize that the success of his daughter and Destiny's Child is because this man left his corporate job because his 6'6" daughter had a dream. 6. I had a dream at 5. My father said, get your ass in the room.
At 6, it's a lot of things going on, yeah.
So the fact that his house was almost in foreclosure, His marriage was in turmoil, but he saw something in his child. And that conversation, Lauren, is allowing the audience, the Black culture, to see that let's look at this man who literally should have been on the cover of Hollywood Reporter, just like Scooter Braun, just like Kris Jenner. And my podcast is opening up the doors for these people to be seen.
Well, speaking of, Black community, question for you. What are some of the challenges you face as a Black man in the reality TV space? And did your podcast play any part in reassuring you personally to yourself that you're exactly where you need to be?
Yes, 1000%. Look, I am a disruptor in this business because no one tells me what to do. And that's not a cocky way of saying it. And when I say that, it's because I know inherently what is best for me. So when my podcast launched in 2022, my very first guest was Ebony K. Williams. She's the first Black housewife to be on the Real Housewives of New York City. And a lot of people blamed her for the show failing. They blame her. And long story short, she's my first guest in April 2022. 2 days after that, my podcast reached #1. And it's because we were able to have a real conversation. With that being said, my podcast is honest. And unfortunately, look, some people get mad, and that's not my problem because I lead with intention and I lead with honesty. And I'm not here to please people in the business who feels like I should just shut up and dribble. There's people who feel like just shut up and produce television. And my podcast being #1, my YouTube channel being a success as well, is because I'm following my God-ordained position in life. And when you're doing something that feels authentic to you, you can't listen to the naysayers in the background. Because at the end of the day, God gave you the vision. He didn't give it to them. So when people don't understand your role, it's not your job to change who you are so that they can. It is your job to be who you are, because God made one of you. And some people will listen, and at this point, we have millions who do.
Period, okay? That's a word. I think we're gonna end there. That is a word. Congratulations to you. Welcome to Black Effect, and I love you. Y'all give it up for Carlos King.
Thank you.
Reality with the King. Now, as I close, I would like to give a huge thank you again to our amazing partners and all of you that have supported the Black Effect over the last 5 years. Thank you for supporting the vision and helping Black Effect to continue our mission to amplify our voices and all these voices that you guys got to hear from tonight. Y'all be good. Y'all have a good night and continue fighting a good fight to all the podcasters. We know it's hard work, but somebody got to do it. Congratulations to everybody and happy 5 years, Black Effect.